Welcome back, everybody, to the Anti-Stall Racing IMSA Series. Season 10, hitting double figures. First time for any ASR series. I'm hoping to be joined by Adrian in a little while once he's here. But we're getting ready to go qualifying at Daytona. And in fact, we've already got a couple of our GT3s out on track already. We're just getting going here. The new tyre model for GT3 this season as well. Remember, that new tyre model going to be absolutely crucial. The safety car will peel off shortly, which means that Quinton Verdonk will dictate the pace. And we're in the Geico Star Zone, and Quinton Verdonk goes early in the Star Zone and jumps away from the second place driver of Albert Preem very, very effectively. Brody Maynard's going to have a look down the inside into turn 2. Is he into turn 1? Sorry, no. Thinks better of it. It's all fairly neat in GTP through turn 1. Everybody through cleanly. Our GT3s a slow getaway. Actually, they're still... oh, we got a yellow flag out in GTP, but it looks like everybody through safely. As Quinton Verdonk has held the lead. Side by side going into the kink here, and the Ferrari is going to try and stick it round the outside, and on cold tyres it's impressive to see these GTPs going side by side through there. We're going to battle on out front as well. A poor exit for Quinton Verdonk from the second horseshoe, and they're going to be alongside in Albert Preem is going to try and get around the outside at all. During this, the GT3s are going into turn 1. Let's take a look at what happens in the pack. Big pulse loose from the Jens Brothers competition. Audi there, lots of wiggles, and we've got a big problem further back. We've got multiple cars off and into the barrier, unfortunately. Quinton Verdonk stayed ahead in that lead battle in GTP. We're trying to work out what's going on at the back of GT3 here. We've got a lot of cars off the road and trying to recover. Mateo Lemeroy and Vincent van der Meulenbroek are battling it out here. Van der Meulenbroek trying to go around the outside, squeezes the Drakkeen Cadillac to the inside, and they bump wheels again. And is there going to be more contact? Van der Meulenbroek on the radio. He's not happy about what went down then. Need to see how that all became, because let's go back just a couple of moments ago. This is Mateo Lemeroy getting past for the first time on the brakes, down the inside into turn 1, and gets ahead of the DLR driver. No, he doesn't, just has to, oh, and does get ahead in turn 2-3 chicane. Very difficult to go too wide through there in GTP. But then a little bit deep at the horseshoe, which is what brings the DLR driver back into this battle. And Mateo being pinched down. I think Mateo felt like he was squeezed a little bit on the entry there, hence the hip check through the kink. Mateo's trying to get it done into turn 1. There's a guy coming out the pit lane. He's going to get spicy on the exit if they're still too wide. And no, they're not. But it's wide for Daniel Morphy as well ahead, who tried to have a look on Kiko Lakai, but that's going to open up the door for for Matthias Weiten to take P2 away. And he is going to take P2 away if he can get the power down on the exit. But it gets a little bit squirmy, and Daniel Morphy is going to be able to stay alongside in that Red Eagle Mercedes. And he's going to bully his way ahead into the kink, and he does so. As this pack is so tight, any mistake from any driver is going to cost them dearly, and Daniel Morphy was lucky to hold on there, and in fact he's fallen out of touch a little bit, out of touch 8 tenths, but still out of touch relative to the rest of the field from Kiko Lakai, and this could cost him on the way into the bus stop if he can't get a little bit closer on the exit. He does get a decent exit, but he needs to hope that he can tow himself along now, and look at that gap, it's growing. Melvin Gak is past Luca Picardo in GT3 AM. With a solid move down the inside. Let's take a look at the overtake. The Audi just getting a run. Gets to the inside. It's kind of hard to hang it around the outside in the bus stop. And they're side by side again on the run to the line. Yeah, the BMW on the outside. Straight line speed looks to favour the Audi right now, and the Mercedes behind, I think that's a lapped car, is it? Trying to unlap themselves. Just sensing an opportunity here, and does slides through on the race leader. Wow. Matthias Weiten back up onto the podium, but is side by side with Vessel Bekema into the kink, and who is going to brave it out here? Matthias Weiten gets the move done ahead, and the Jens Brothers competition, McLaren is going to try and come down the inside. Callum Lux trying to steal the spot away from Bekema, who tried to attack to get on the podium, but it's going to cost him a position here. Surely Can the McLaren stay ahead on the brakes? Does so side by side onto the oval though. Who will Mateus choose to give the tow to is going to be crucial here, and comes down. So the Lamborghini will get the tow, and look, already pulling ahead on that shorter line as well. We've got a big incident. We've got a big incident out on track. Oh no! Maynard avoids, but James Rodison is absolutely wiped out. Let's have a look. To me, it looked like Samir Rashad was caught out by the GT3 ahead, rolling up the track, and got caught in a sandwich there, it looks like. Let's take one more look at it here. Samir, watch the BMW on the bottom, comes up a little bit late. Yeah, wow. Nothing that Samir could have done there, I don't think, to be honest. It looks like a subsequent incident has been put under investigation. I think this is probably Rodison trying to get his car back to the pit lane. Yeah, and Melvin getting all caught up in it. It was a huge, huge crash. I was very surprised to not see more cars wiped out in that, to be honest. Let's take a look at how Samir Rashad got ahead of Ricardo Riva. It must have been just after we cut away to look at the stricken BMW, and that straight line speed of that Ferrari just pulls ahead. Yeah, Porsche can't do anything on the brakes either, unfortunately. Mateus Whiten getting past. Callum looks. Oh, Callum jumped over a curve there, and Matteo just finds a gap and takes the opportunity to get ahead of the driver he'd been stuck behind for a long time in this race. Okay, not sure who that was or what was going on there.
I saw a flash of a
Sholton.
GT. That could be any number of cars.
Even Sholton. Not sure what's going on here.
With damage?
He'd already been off several times that lap. This is...
What?
Oh, look, he's already crabbing here.
Oh,
So let's take a look. This is earlier on, and this looks more like what's going to be our incident. Oh, loses it on throttle.
it's the wall.
Right rear
it's the
suspension
wall,
broken,
the
yeah.
rear suspension, yeah.
So Bram gets loose, and is just going to get collected, isn't he? Yeah, one. And we've got 3 cars in the middle of a track. I think if race control had seen this live, we probably would have been given safety car as a black flag then. Bram Karan given a drive-through for not holding his brakes and causing a collision. Momentum difference between the GTP and the GT3. BMW ahead might hold up Quinton here a little bit. It's all good for Quinton, and that'll be a sigh of relief for Verdonk. Just going to have to run to the line now. It was a better exit for Preem because he is closing up a little bit, but now he's pulling away once again in Ferrari. We're so used to.
Blasted to be that Ferrari straight line speed.
Flashes the lights as he comes across the line to win the first race of the season in GTP back at Daytona for season 10. And Quinton Verdonk, it's a little bit loose into turn 1 as he's weaving to celebrate that win. But Albert Preem will take P2. Sergio Sanchez Cachafiero comes across the line in P3 in GT3 Pro after recovering from that. I'm not sure if there is a penalty given for any of those cars. So we'll try and get that information as quickly as we can. Luca Picardi, on debut in AM, takes the win. We hear him on the radio, very happy with that. It was close in the end. Vesca, who had to do that recovery drive, comes home to finish P2 ahead of Ben Groneveld. Daniel Morphy and Mateus Weisen, our only podium sitters yet to come to the line. Ricardo Riva will finish P3 in GTP.
Finally comes home to take the flag.
Daniel Morphy will be happy with that. As we said, he didn't choose this car. It was chosen for him. Mateus Weisen will come home P2. He had a disappointing return by his standards, although not disappointing by most driver standards, to the hypercar class a couple of seasons ago, but back in GT3 and back strong on his first race in the class to finish. Thanks for joining me, everybody that joined us live. Thanks for joining me Fox for this race. Hopefully we'll have you back in the future, or Kirby if they're around. All right, we'll see you all next week.